These are the Them 908 Community Skates. They retail for around $260 US. After a year of making 909s, this is the return of the Them 908. It features the classic Them sole plate with the new Them frame for a complete setup. The Them frame is designed for flat or anti-rocker skating. The liner is a mix of the first and second version with a neoprene toe but a soft tongue. I took them to my local skate park to see how they feel.
Alright, so these are the size medium 908s. I am a 28.5 centimeter for my longest foot, and typically a size 10.5, 44 Europe. They're a little tight. These liners are very thick, much thicker than I remember. If anything, I'm hoping that the padding in there will loosen up a little bit, because I'm feeling like while my foot isn't moving around a lot, like it's very responsive because there's so much material, it does feel like it's squeezing my foot a little bit more than I'd like. Thankfully, that neoprene toe is there, and it lets me push my toes out a little bit longer than the liner. I can definitely feel the neoprene toe, mostly on my left foot, which is my longer foot. There's room in the shell, so it's not like the liner is all the way to the end. There's definitely room for a slightly longer foot if you wanted to get a different liner, like an Intuition or a Second Skin or something like that. These wheels feel hard. They're supposed to be 56 mil 90A. This is a really hard 90A. I would assume that they're probably closer to 92. They feel like little pebbles. And for me, I'm used to skating fairly soft wheels. I love my 88A, so this is a pretty hard, rough ride. All right, let's try some grinds. All right, sole tricks are okay. I feel like I'm locking okay, a little less stable than I did on my USD Sways or my USD 7s, carbons with the 7 sole plates. The lock on a sole just didn't feel as solid, like I was moving around a little bit. I don't know if that's due to the shape of the sole or the width of the sole or what, but it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. These frames are pretty good for flat. I'm not having any wheel bite issues. I did bite on a True Miz, but that's my usual bite because I forget that I'm skating flat. Need to really push that foot out there so that I get it in front of me instead of block like I do with my anti-rocker setups. But yeah, absolutely no issues with wheel bite so far. These are really nice. Little bit of adjustment, of course, getting used to a flat setup. I've been skating anti-rocker the last couple of weeks, so a little bit of adjustment, but nothing major to report. All right, so struggling a little bit with top acid. That's definitely not a trick that I own. I'm struggling with top acids, but I could do them just fine on Coping Box, and I was able to do them fine on other skates. I felt like just locking topside, when I locked on, I could feel my foot kind of move towards the front, like towards the toe. And I don't know if that's due to the sole plate, like the geometry of the sole plate, or me. I mean, obviously anything could be me, but definitely not locking as solid as I would like.
After my first session, I swapped out the liner and the wheels to see if I could improve the ride. They fit my feet better, but I was still struggling with Royales. Next, I tried swapping the sole plate with the USD Sway to see if that could fix my problem. Soletrix felt amazing, but I was still struggling with Royales. Finally, I tried swapping the cuffs from my 909s to see if that would help. I was able to do all of my grinds and I felt extremely solid.
This was the most difficult review I've ever done. I really wanted to love these skates. I loved the originals and I loved the 909s, but they just didn't work for me. Ultimately, the problem came down to the cuff. It's just way too stiff for the way that I like to skate. If you don't mind a stiff cuff and your foot fits the liner, these skates are probably great. But for me, they just didn't work.